Greetings, this is Mr. T's help video for mindset and effective learning techniques. I would like to share with you various effective learning techniques to optimize your studying for chemistry. A little bit about me. I am working on a degree towards educational psychology that focuses on research of learning how to learn. And I've also worked over the years with professional development here at San Bernardino Valley College, which is a special program that helps train new professors. So I want to go ahead and share with you some of the information I share with them in order to optimize your studying for the course. So after clicking on this link right here for a PDF guide, you should have a summary page that looks like this. So let's go through the summary page. First off, multitasking is a myth. You cannot learn while you have your TV on or while you're talking with friends. It just doesn't work that way. You need to have maximum focus on the material. If not, then the learning curve increases, and something that may take you 15 minutes to learn will take you an hour and a half. Some psychologists call this cottage cheese tasking because there are holes in your learning. So make sure to turn off your cell phones and put away all your media when you're actually studying to optimize your time. The next thing, research shows that ideally a part of the brain called the hippocampus loves to learn new things optimally for about 20 to 30 minutes. After that, then it's diminishing returns. Your brain gets a little sluggish. So what research has also shown that the best way to optimize learning is to mix it up. That means changing topics. So after you've been studying polyatomic ions for 20 minutes, then switch to something else, such as maybe stoichiometry, which we'll get into in future modules. Finally, as you're learning new material, you need to practice through the study handouts. It's by actually practicing the problems that tells your brain that it's important, and you will optimize your learning. So next thing I want to get into is research pioneered by a professor called Carol Dweck. So here we have rat neurons from 2 mice. Obviously the one on the right is a smarter mouse. You can tell this by how concentrated the dendrites are. Now, you can't tell from this, but these are identical mice. So you'll notice the mouse on the right is smarter than the one on the left. How did the mouse on the right get smarter? Well, the mouse on the right was forced to struggle. Research shows it's the struggling as you're learning that actually makes you smarter. And it literally grows your brain. So, Dweck coined this term, growth mindset. This is the belief that you can grow your brain if you strain it. And again, neuroscience shows that this actually is what happens in your brain when you learn something new. It's the straining that causes the brain to change and you learn something new. What she also found is you have to have the belief that you can learn something new if you strain your brain. If you go ahead and you believe that you can't learn something new, then they call that the fixed mindset. So it's getting a little bit messy, so let me go ahead and erase this. So in the fixed mindset, you believe that your potential is set. You're smart at certain things, you're dumb at other things. So things that you're not smart at, well then why bother? It won't make any difference. To use an analogy explaining the fixed and growth mindset, think of the old 80s video game Pac-Man. Pac-Man was a fixed character. He could only move up, down, left, right, and only move at a certain speed. So as the levels became more challenging, well, then Pac-Man didn't have a lot of choice. Eventually he would be overwhelmed by the ghosts because they'd all get more challenging for him and he couldn't increase his potential. Compare that to online video games such as World of Warcraft or other games where you can go ahead and level up. That means your character can grow its abilities. So Dweck found that people that adopted the growth mindset, they actually were able to make themselves smarter compared to people that had the fixed mindset. And this was independent of any type of IQ, which was pretty amazing. It turns out your brain is like a little child. So if you were to tell a child that you're too dumb, you can't learn something, then the child won't. But if you tell a child that yes, you can learn it, you just have to believe in yourself, the child will be open to learning. Your brain is the same way. So she found that successful students adopted this growth mindset. And you need to do the same thing because you're learning chemistry. And the majority of you have never seen these concepts before, and they can be quite challenging. But if you believe that by struggling through intensive studying, that you can grow your brain and learn this stuff, then you will succeed. Other things I want to briefly go through and summarize, which I think are important. The testing effect, I mentioned that earlier. The best way to study for this class is to test yourself. That means do self-quizzes. It also means working through my study handouts and trying to practice those problems in the study handouts. But you want to practice through the different concepts. You want to do this throughout the course. And research shows that people that practice problems are more likely to retain information and understand concepts than people that just read the slides or just go through the videos without practicing. Make sure you understand the core concepts, and then again, you want to assume that anything that's hard, it's hard because it's new. You've never seen it before. It's only by struggling does it become easier, which is classic growth mindset. A couple other things. Oftentimes we think we know something because we feel that we do. So this is called the illusion of knowing. So make sure you don't suffer from the illusion of knowing. The best way to prevent yourself from succumbing to the illusion of knowing and thinking you know something that you really don't is to test yourself on it. Research also shows that you need to get a good night's sleep. That's what actually locks the information into your brain. They call it consolidation, and that occurs during sleep time. So if you're only getting 2 or 3 hours of sleep, then you're actually wasting some of your studying time, because then your body can't, or your brain can't consolidate it, and then the information literally leaks out and you have to relearn it at a later time. So you need many, many days of consistent sleep. That means you have to study over long periods of time. That's why studying the night before for a final is terrible, because maybe you learned enough to get you through the final, but you'll forget it all, and then you won't be able to use it in a future class. And of course, don't study just before an exam, because again, you may lose the information, and then you have even more to study for future exams. And then learn little mnemonic tricks here or there. Now, if you want to learn more about the growth mindset, I've put in excerpts from Carol Dweck's research talking about how to grow your brain and comparing the growth and fixed mindset. And then if you keep going down, I put excerpts from a very popular book that summarizes research-validated learning techniques called Make It Stick by Peter Brown. And it kind of summarizes various tricks.